Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite on stage for welcome address Mr. Gaurav Arora, founder and chief inspirer XMONG. So please give him a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Doctor. It's such a privilege to be here. Esteemed guests, industry leaders, HR makers, and the change makers that we have. We all have gathered here for a beautiful convention that we are going to celebrate, not only the HR professions, but also all the awardees who are going to get the awards today based on the good work that they have done and the contribution that they have made to the industry. It's an absolute privilege to welcome each one of you for the contribution that you have already made to the function that you're a part of. HR, of course, it's a function, but not anymore. It's becoming the heartbeat of the industry because India is standing on a very pivotal position, at a very inflection point India is standing, where we are talking about being one of the top 3 economies in the world in the next 1 decade. And HR is going to play a very vital role in that. If you look at the top 3 things that we are talking about technology, we are talking about talent, and the third thing that we are talking about is the trust. And if you look at the common denominator in all 3, technology, talent, and trust, it's the HR that's going to play a very vital role. Without that, neither the technology would be able to do justice to the different departments that it is serving, nor the talent would be able to do justice to the organization that they're a part of. And of course, when we are talking about trust, we believe it's the responsibility of the HR, but without realizing it's absolutely everyone's responsibility here. And as I mentioned, the global spotlight is on India, not just for its economic potential, but for its talent, as I just spoke about. You know, for years, HR has been perceived as a support function. I mean, the other day I was talking to one of my cousins who happens to lead a business in one of the consulting firms in the country today. And we were just talking about that. And he asked me, who is your primary customer? I said, of course, the first customer in any of the organization is I get to interact with HR. I said, HR? I mean, do they do anything? I said, really? Who brought you in this organization and who's helped you to reach where you are today? And he did not have an answer for that because, as I mentioned, it's not just another function. It's not just another function. It is clear that HR is the driving force behind any organization transformation, and it's not at all a surprise to me that we are going to talk about today HR at the core of India's reimagination. When we are reimagining India, when we are talking about what India has to offer to the world, catalyst of industry transformation. Now, having said that, I'm a coach. I've been a practicing coach. When people ask me, Gaurav, what do you do? So I tell them I'm a practicing coach. Are you a motivational speaker? Nah, I'm not. Are you a trainer? Nah, I'm not. I said, why did you get into coaching? I said, when you know that you've been paid more than what any other profession would be paid just by asking questions, you would fall in love with coaching. So what I have to offer is silence, loads and loads of silence. I have to offer questions that I can ask day in and day out. To an extent, every time when I speak to my daughter, who's 5, I would ask her a question and she would say, Gola Papa, you only ask questions. Tell me, how should I be doing? And I would say, I don't know. Now, I think that's the core responsibility of HR as professionals, not to just propose them the policies and the procedures in the company, but to ask some really meaningful questions, because it's in the meaningful questions where we can find the answers that we have not yet explored. When we are talking about HR is not only about policies and the procedures, it's about actually tapping into the consciousness in the organization. And that's the reason why I'm saying HR is going to play a very pivotal role in raising the consciousness and reimagining India the way we look at India. So here I've got a few questions to ask you. Question number 1 is, how do we as HR and business leaders elevate our role as true transformation catalyst? We might not have an answer right now, but that's what the objective is. not to revisit the books that we have already read, not to revisit the libraries that from where we have already pulled the books always, but to relook at the possible new solutions, because the challenges that we are facing right now, we don't have a solution for that, neither with business nor with operations, and definitely not with HR as well. But the point is, can we all come together? Can we all come together? All these tables that you're sitting at, it's not a coincidence that you are sitting with so and so person. It's an opportunity for us to know the person. It's a new opportunity for us to experience the discomfort that you might be experiencing right now, sitting with somebody that in your mind you might be competing with. Yesterday I was having this conversation with a friend of mine. His name is James McCabe. He is known as the story doctor. And I was asking him, I said, can you please help me? Tomorrow I've got a convention to address as a welcome. He said, Gaurav, talk about two things for sure. And I said, what is that? He said, the power of conversations, and the second one is the importance of social capital in today's world. And if you ask me, from where have I learned the art of and the importance of social capital, there are people sitting here in this room that you can learn from. I'm not going to tell you the names. Probably you know the names of people who genuinely believe in building connections and continue to invest on social capital, because if not for them, this convention would not have been possible. I can promise you. This would not have been possible without investing on the social capital. People invest on picking up a new pair of shoes for themselves. You might want to invest in picking up a new pen for yourself. But I think one of the best things that I've learned from one of the gentlemen sitting in this room is the importance of genuinely investing on social capital. And one conversation can change the trajectory of your life. You never know which one is that. So continue to invest on just another conversation that you might want to have in this room only. Apart from the celebration that we are going to have for all those individuals who have contributed to the HR fraternity worldwide. The second question that I have for all of us is, how do we develop leaders who are willing to prioritize purpose over just profits? I'm always saying profits are not important. They are important. Profits are important. I remember the CEO of PepsiCo mentioned this, that you can only build trust in an organization where organizations make profits. Without profits, you cannot build a culture of trust. The other day I was having a conversation on my podcast with Bob Chapman. He mentioned something so beautiful. He said, Gaurav, the challenge is people start to invest in building cultures without having people perform well. Now, making sure that people perform well and they are rewarded well is one of the core responsibilities of the HR, and that's the reason why we are talking about that. It's about purpose-driven organization, not just profits. And the third question, which is one of my favorites, is how do we make HR not just a function but a heartbeat of the industry? I just love this term, heartbeat of the industry. How do we make HR not just the function but the heartbeat of the industry transformation and ensure that the India's growth story is a people first growth story, and that is possible only when we are willing to reinvest and invest and reinvest on people. And this is possible only when we are willing to contribute to the lives of the people. I was not surprised when Tali's mentioned the first person that he met was GP sir. I was not surprised when he mentioned Sanjay sir, because these are the people who were not only HR professionals when they were in the job. They continued to be the HR professionals who genuinely believed in the responsibility that has been given to you, which is apart from the designations that we enjoy. So as I welcome all of you, I would like to special mention to all these people who had made this possible, including to start with Mr. TV Raoji, GP sir, Siddiqui sir, Rajeshwari ma'am. Then we have got Asha ma'am, Prasunji, Sagarika ma'am, Sanjay sir. Because of all these people, we have been able to come together. Ladies and gentlemen, a special mention I would like to make to Food for Life. Most of the organizations that you look at, with due respect, we are one of the sponsors, Ericsson and X-Monks. We are here because we know that we might get some business, we might get some visibility, right? But my sincere request to you is just pull out this for yourself. Just pull out this card. You have it in your bags, please. Just pull out that. It says certificate of participation It says the certificate is proudly presented by Food for Life. And my sincere request to you would be, there's a scanner behind this. In whatever capacity, shape and form you may want to contribute, just make an attempt. Because unless collectively we come together, we will not be able to make a dent in the universe. As I welcome all of you, I welcome you all to tap into one of the basic drivers of a human being, which is contribution. And we don't have to wait for a moment to come in our life and to make a contribution, because these are the moments that life offers us to genuinely make a contribution. So one more time, welcome. I wish you a lot of good time, a lot of good connections, and may you continue to express throughout the day. Thank you so much.